This is my life as an athlete. Now I'm looking back in retrospect over the many years, over the many decades that have passed ever since I was a tiny little kid, when I used to play on the playground at first, enjoying all the beautiful moments in the life I've had. And I think I always had the excitement and the passion for whatever I was doing, and I was always very happy and cheerful with everything I had. Every little experience in my life was a highlight. Everything ever since my very beginnings. At first, of course, I enjoyed running. I ran all the time, everywhere. I felt pretty fast. It was a real joy to just run around the yard in school, in the kindergarten, and everywhere. We played catch, and that was the highlight of our childhood. Most of the time, hide and seek and catch, of course. It was a beautiful moment. And well, later on I started to look for some adventures, to discover exciting places in the mountains, at the lake, in the zoo, everywhere. We went everywhere with my parents, and it was just fantastic to look back, especially that we left the place where we grew up, so that's double exciting because you no longer see the streets where you raised up as a kid. Later, I of course discovered, as every other kid in Romania, but maybe all over the world, soccer. The game of soccer was very great. At least until the age of 10, I was playing soccer all the time with the kids, and then I started also to ride a bicycle and to do all the crazy things other kids were doing. But at the age of 10, we then moved to Germany. We emigrated, and well, everything changed. I slowly stopped playing soccer and discovered new things like street ball, athletics. 1992, after watching the Olympic Games, Carlos, Mike Powell, and all the other great athletes. Later on, of course, as a big Knickerbocker fan, New York Knicks and Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls era, I watched all the games, and it was just fantastic to feel the excitement. I was really loving the game of basketball. I was playing all the time. I was most probably the best player in high school, and the best ping pong player in high school, and the best the best track athlete in certain kind of disciplines. I just love sports, and that's what I used to do all the time in my leisure time. I had friends, but all we did was play sports and no other stupid things. Well, after that, I joined a track club in 1993, LAG Ziegen, and well, that was the start of everything. It's where I learned all the basics and the fundamentals of athletics. But at the same time, in the same year, I discovered street ball, game of street ball, where I sometimes came back from training and came home after 2 hours of track, and then I went out to play some more basketball for 90 minutes. I never tired, and it felt great. And on top of that, in my teens, there was a certain period of time when I used to play 4 hours of basketball a day over a period of 4 months, and that was also a fantastic time. In the morning and in the afternoon, I was in fact preparing to play in New York in the cage, because I planned visit New York in the cage, and that's what I actually did. First, I celebrate my 19th birthday in New York, and then the second attempt in July I went out again. Not attempt, but second visit I went out again and flew to Manhattan and played in the cage, actually visiting the NBA store back in March '99, and it was the first NBA store in the world that opened exactly that year. Those great memories. It was exactly the time when I bought myself a jersey with my name printed on it, Igrisciano, #1 jersey, and we used to play in the cage. I actually did join a couple of games there with Abu Islam and some other cool guys. The guy who I mentioned, he also showed me Harlem. This guy, I played a few pickup games 5-on-5, and it was a fantastic time, because at that time I had a fantastic, I just didn't go to any club, and I had to recover and do that in my 20s. So during my early 20s and mid 20s, I was just doing bullshit all the time and drinking and partying and rapping. 7 years of rapping and whatever, until I joined. I did my first marathon in 2002 at the age of 22 unofficially, but then at the age of 30 finally I ran my first official marathon in New York. It was a great experience, and I always had dreams of achieving the best possible performance in everything I was doing, not just in track or basketball. Whatever I did, I tried to be the best I could, and maybe even the best out there. But most importantly, I was trying to be the best I could. And deep in my mind, when I was young in the track club, I was thinking about breaking some sort of a world record someday. I was actually dreaming of breaking the world record in the long jump and winning the Olympic Games in 2016 at the age of 36, which of course never happened, as you see. But something even more exciting happened in the process, because I slowly went on and on with my passion, and I just didn't want to join any competitions, because I said, well, why should I join any race if I ain't even capable of winning the race? That was my mentality, and do whatever you do, but there's nothing wrong about the way I did it, and it's just my mindset, and I didn't want to just waste my time running races, finishing at the back of the field. So I realized in the newspapers that there was some sort of little competition, and I realized that the times they were bringing, I was also capable of bringing myself. So I started running races, and it was 2010 New York, 2011 Cologne, 2012. It went on and on and on, and I had some podium finishes, third, second, third. But it was not until 2013 at the Cyprus Marathon when I won my first race, and that was absolutely brilliant experience, because my girlfriend, now wife, was sitting in the pace car, and because she was joining me at the start, and from Aphrodite's Rock she had to go back somehow to the start, and she just took the pace car because the race director somehow sympathized with me. And I don't know, he didn't know me before, even though I ran in Limassol, even though I ran there the year before, but that was not his race. However, I finished winning in the new PR and qualifying for the New York Marathon again, and it was fantastic. And the next year I managed to defend my title in Cyprus, and in the same year in 2013 I managed to even win the Wilhelmshaven Marathon, which was my second marathon. Then the year after that I won Cyprus for the second time, and that was my third marathon win. But at the end of 2015 I had a hernia inguinalis bilateralis injury, and I had to undergo surgery on both sides, and I came back only 2 months later in Mumbai, and I can't believe how fast I returned. But as I said, I was doing everything to the fullest, and I won more and more races. I won the Düsseldorf Marathon 2015 with a team. I finished second in Mumbai in my M35, winning a glorious prize money of 400 euros, 30,000 rupees if I'm not wrong at that time. And well, just 2 months after the surgery, that was an amazing result. Then I also went to Athens and finished there as the fastest German runner. Then I won the Romanian national championship, marathon championships in my category, 2013 in the M30, 2015 in the M35, first overall in the M35, and 2017 I had my greatest highlight, winning the overall veteran classification, and that was just brilliant, defending a lot of great athletes and finishing fourth overall, first overall veterans. That is my greatest achievement ever, because by now I am still to this day undefeated among all Romanian marathoners of my category at any age and any category over any distance, and that's an achievement I'm very proud of. I might just lose the next race, but Lord knows, I barely run these days, and I'm happy if I can run it all, because I got so many miles in my bones. I got 135,000 kilometers in my bones. But in the process, as I told you, I had more and more goals, more and more dreams started building up in my mind, and I wanted to finish 100 marathons, which I did. I wanted to run a 100-kilometer race. I wanted to run 100,000 kilometers, which I did. And well, I wanted to run a 24-hour race, which I also did, where I managed to run 4 marathons in a day. That is just fantastic. But then at the end of 2016, on Christmas Eve, I just had the most brilliant idea in my entire life, and that was, how about picking up the basketball again and running 42 kilometers, and let's see whether that world record exists in the Guinness Book of Records. And I looked it up, and it actually existed, but I didn't know of. I just made it up myself, but then I looked it up and I saw there is a world record, 3:04:15. And then on the next day I try to see if I can run 1 kilometer in 4 minutes 15. Yeah. And I actually managed to do it. I can't believe I managed to do it in 4 minutes and 13, even though I lost the ball twice, and I knew it's a very hard thing to do it over 42 kilometers, but I just knew it's possible, and I gave it a try. And that's when the most brilliant story began of my entire life, and the most brilliant quote I might ever had in my life, which is that every person in this world is capable of doing something better than anybody else. But the thing is to find out what it is that you can do better than anybody else. And that's what I said right here at my first press conference, Düsseldorf Marathon. I was invited to the press conference. That is some brilliant achievement. I had interviews, I had invitations to the radio station in my area, and everybody was excited about my plans and my idea. And well, I couldn't wait to toe the line, starting line. Even though in that crazy year I just already ran 2 marathons in January and March, and then in April, that's when it happened. I just smashed the world record. Of course, I had the dream to run sub 3, but no matter the winds were too strong, I started out too hard and won 29:20, if I'm not wrong. And Well, it was simply too fast and it just didn't work out that day, but that absolutely doesn't matter because I broke the world record by almost 4 minutes, 350, and well, everybody, I had a big crew of friends with me and everybody was just amused and excited, and I slowed down over the final 200 meters because I knew I couldn't break 3 hours, and I did some crossovers and turnarounds and whatever just to make something for the public and for the spectators, pull up a little show, and thank God it all went well. And I only had this single try, but the most crazy about this story, it wasn't even mentioned. That is that this race was only possible with the help of many people. Just like this guy here, Thomas Sambale, who helped me pace the race evenly. He's a veteran. He himself is just as fast as I am, his PR, but he's almost 20 years older, so this man is a legend. 15 years older, around. He was M50 and I was M37 back then. However, the ball pump that morning just broke, and I couldn't fill my ball with plenty of air. That's what is being said in this TV report about me. I'm very proud of this report right here. As you can see, I was looking for a pump. I asked the police, I asked everybody, but no chance. There was only 25 minutes left to the start. Then I went to the announcer, a very well-known voice in Germany, Wolfgang Poschmann. And thank God he made that call in the microphone and asked someone to help me. And thank God there was an official of the Düsseldorf Marathon who finally helped me. Went down to the camp wagons and to the cars down there, around 1 kilometer away from the start. And he helped me pump up my ball and bring this thing home, without which I couldn't have made it. Then there was the other thing, my teen friend Sebastian Schreck, who was recording this entire race, a guy who I haven't seen almost 2 decades, and then suddenly we met a couple of months prior to the race, and he just offered me to record this race so we would have proof and witness for the Guinness Book of Records, so that his record is official. And I had to fight over 4 months for this record to be recognized and validated and whatever. It was finally official, and it was just unbelievable, incredible. I still can't believe it to this day, even though I honestly must say this world record has been broken last September, so it held 4 years and 4 months. But that doesn't bother me at all because I broke that world record and I held it for 4 years and 4 months. And I can always tell the world that I have broken a world record once, because in the end I think any world record can be broken one day and will be broken. Only thing that they cannot take away from you are those titles, as my Romanian national titles, 5 marathon wins. And yeah, that's this absolutely crazy story that went on here, and this was maybe even more exciting than winning the Olympic Games, because it came from somebody who's a total underdog, who's totally average and doesn't have a chance against pro athletes, but still managed to earn almost the same fame as a guy with a Kenyan caliber or whatever. So after this race, I was fully motivated because I was not only I had become the ambassador of the Cyprus Marathon. I had free entries to hotels, free starts. I was having entry free fees, and I could run any race I wanted almost in certain areas or countries. And I had built up a big fan base all over the world even before this achievement. But after this, I was known among very big, large, scale of runners who usually would never know anything about a guy like me, because the performance is just, it's unimportant. However, after this race, I managed only 1 month later, 27 days later, I won my hometown marathon in Sibiu 2017, which you can see right here. And I had tears in my eyes because the start and finish line was pointing direct to the windows where we were living, where I grew up in my childhood. This was my 4th marathon win. And the year after that, I even managed to win it again, which is even crazier, which was actually my last official marathon, after which I retired in 2018 in May. And I thought and I hoped to be my last race at the age of 38, which I've said many times even after that 2015 hernia surgery, but you never know what's coming. And here are some impressions of the Bucharest Marathon 2017, meeting Constantino Dice, the second Olympic runner which I met. First it was Wilson Kiprotich in New York 2014. In this marathon I also defeated Claudio Gorgan, Robert Gheorghe Miculă, Viorel Tamș, Mircea Marian Sakara. These are all legends in Romania, and there are runners with PRs between 224 and 230 something, and one of them even Ioan Pavel Moise, who had a 219. So this is just, Phoenix, just crazy. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, guys. Woo! So I'm speechless to this day, but as I said, I continued running and do some other races, small races, short races, winning the Sibiu Half Marathon 2019. And to this day, at the age of 42, I still keep working hard, training every day, as I do ever since I was 13 years old, as I swore to myself to train every single day.
You burst in a fire, burn, my thirst and desire. You